Down.
So you guys already trained with another company, correct?
Yeah.
Who'd you guys work with?
It's called Canine. Yeah. Canine training.
Elite Canine? Type Canine?
It was just called Canine. I thought it was an affiliate of you guys. It's out of Monroeville.
Monroeville.
He
Okay.
did a lot of police stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
So, what are you?
Down.
So where do you guys kind of struggle with them? Are you guys? What's the purpose of the session? You just kind of want an assessment, based on our standards to see where he's at,
I
or?
spoke with David.
Yeah.
Down. Down. The one thing is the crate. He just was so all over. However, I have to say, I think, and I've got this one too. I didn't. But basically, it's this right here.
Right. Jumping?
On people and on dogs.
Yeah.
And I get him out around as much stimulation as I can find.
Yeah.
At times he's perfect, and other times he's just out of control, even if I zap him.
One of the things about dogs like this that I see that have a lot of motivation, they definitely torture owners initially, but these are some of the best dogs to train because all this energy we can really focus through proper communication and practice on better things than displaying this behavior. All right, so we definitely want everything as high up around the neck as possible. I'm gonna kind of replace this. Buddy. All right, let's start walking here.
23 picks up.
No.
50% is focus. Is he focusing on me? So right now, one of the things that's going to help you maintain that focus is keeping him from marking and keeping him from sniffing. Later on, once he's got heel position mastered, if you want to, you can give the sniffing back. But through the formative stage, we want to take it away. All right. So I'm going to start to loosen the leash now, and this is pretty much going to be where you guys are going to work here and how you guys are going to work. Nope. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen this leash, and anytime he steps out of position, we're just going to simply say no and tap at a level that's meaningful to him. No. And as you can see, I really didn't have to use the leash at all there. He corrected himself. So anytime you use the leash, you're kind of giving him the answer, and it's a good thing. No. No. So I'm correcting him for sniffing. No. So no and a tap. It's pretty much the prerequisite, for him forgetting completely about you there. We had a little bit of a battle initially. The biggest battle was him. No. The biggest battle was him, we're gonna go this way, him sniffing and walking ahead of me. Basically two behaviors that really led to him forgetting about me. Nope.
When he looks away like that, should I be correcting him, or is that not?
Is he in position? I don't mind if our dog looks, because looking is not reacting. Is what we're enforcing right now. You could take a left up here. What we're enforcing right now is heel position. And that's all we're gonna ask of him. He's got eyes, he's allowed to use them. It's just all about him staying in that position.
When you say how far out ahead, like this is the farthest out he should be?
Yeah, so the definition of heel position is the dog's front paws at our back heels. That's a little extra. You can go, you can make your standard neck to knee, or you can make your standard head to knee. And now you're gonna pull him back over there. Keep going. I personally like to just use my peripheral. I like to look ahead, and if I can see the tip of my dog's nose on my left side as I'm looking ahead, I know he's in position, he or she's in position. But if I can see the dog's whole head and shoulders out of my peripheral, I know that he or she is out of positioning. So you can use neck to knee, head to knee, or you can use your peripheral. It's up to you. No. No. That sniffing's a big one.
No.
No. There you go.
No.
So, you know, what we're asking him to do right now is to focus on one thing, which is you and what you're asking him to do, which is heel position. And you're going to find that once he kind of commits to that, it's going to be really soothing for him. Because what he's in the habit of is looking for the next distraction and the next distraction. And it's overwhelming for him. The next scent, the next sight, the next sound. So what we're doing right now is we're saying no and we're tapping. As long as he resets, we're good to go. But if he doesn't reset after that one correction, you want to help him reset with the leash pressure. So the leash pressure is the last resort. But just remember this, there's only one correction per infraction. So if he steps out of heel position and we say no and tap, you can't keep saying no and tap until he just randomly returns back to position. After you say no and tap, if he doesn't reset back into position, it's up to you to help him do that.
Okay.
So remember, one correction per infraction. After that, it's up to us to reset him if he doesn't do it on his own. So basically, it looks like, you know, the last training company did a good job of teaching the position of heel without many distractions. So that's good. So he does, you know, he has internalized that, the basics of that. I think, again, your biggest issue is just that he's not really focused on you at all. He's focused on everything else. So one thing we're going to do here is we're going to start to generalize our pace. The reason being is because I'll catch a lot of dogs that are kind of in a fake heel position, meaning that they just basically aren't pulling, which is the lowest standard of heel position you can have. We want him to be focused on us. And the way they go about doing that is because they're so smart, you know, we all have our own pace that we walk. It's our pace. They kind of get used to that. So what they do is they start the walk, they kind of set the treadmill to, you know, 3.0 or whatever, and then they kind of keep up with you by keeping the same pace, and they're completely tuned out, not paying attention to you at all. So now what we're going to do is randomly here and there, don't impede your walk. No. We're going to randomly just change our pace to make ourselves a little less predictable.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back and forth between my pace and a turtle pace. So here we go. And all we want to see is that, all we want to see is that he makes the adjustment. I'm not trying to purposely set him up for failure or set him up for a correction. If he walks ahead of us just a little bit, turns, sees that we're back a little, and makes the adjustment, he's good to go.
Okay.
But if he goes ahead of us and doesn't make the adjustment, that's where the no and the tap will come in.
Okay.
And then I'll speed back up to my normal pace. I'm gonna go back to my turtle pace here. You see he makes that adjustment. That's wonderful. He's looking good. You're a good boy, T. Yeah, bud.
So let's say like I was at the pier right now and there were people, and I never want to sound rude, but I have told people when they come over to pet him.
Yeah, no one is allowed to
Because I'm
pet our
trained.
dog on leash. Yep. He bites. We're training. He's got COVID. Whatever you got to tell people.
But when they do that, or if he starts to go towards them, is that when I just do exactly what I'm doing right now?
When people are coming to pet him.
Or if we're passing people and he just dodges it?
Well, typically what I like to do is I like to keep myself in between other dogs or people and my dog.
Okay, so switch sides.
So whatever you got to do to make that happen, make sure you're always in between. And worst come to worst, if they're coming towards you, you know, you just simply step in front of your dog.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I know what to do now.
Yeah, as little distraction as possible. You want to kind of take away that micromanagement of that tight leash and kind of ask him to process things on his own. The positioning looks good, at least his understanding of it, but the problem is his lack of focus. So we want to make sure that he's not sniffing, he's not walking ahead, and we're jumping on that as quickly as possible. And we're basically putting that leash pressure to the back burner. Remember, the leash pressure is only there in case he doesn't reset for himself after a correction.
And do you recommend that one or this one?
Either or. Either or. Yeah, right now we're just reliant on this e-collar, not really the collar. Quite honestly, he doesn't need this prong collar right now for this exercise, really.